Good afternoon, everybody. What's going on? Joe Kalis coming in here with the Pale Hose Podcast on an awesome Monday afternoon. Crazy Monday, not typical Thursday or Friday like we've gotten used to. We're switching things up here a little bit. I've been relegated to my own separate, hard-hitting, awesome weekly update because I have an obsession with reviews and statistics and recaps and previews, and we're just gonna slice it out of the regular weekly podcast where we have more commentary, and we're just gonna do this review once a week, and it's gonna come out on Monday and talk about the previous week. So here we are. It is Monday, May 6th, and reviewing the results of your Chicago White Sox from April 29th to May 5th. So crazy week. It seems like with a team in a rebuild, every week is crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just over emotional like I talked about last week on the podcast. Maybe I don't know what to think of what's going on here, but there's just kind of a roller coaster of things going on. The promotions and demotions I'm going to talk about with the White Sox squad and people going up and down into the minors, people coming on and off the injured list. It's just crazy. So anyway, in the last week, today is Monday, May 6th. Last week, the Sox were 3-4 overall, which for a rebuilding team that we don't really expect a lot from, not really that crazy. But if you look at the details here, we had one game was postponed. That was on Tuesday, the 30th, but we had a doubleheader. So there's 7 games in a week, even though one day was postponed, and a 3-4 record against the combination of the lowly Baltimore Orioles and the, well, underperforming, I suppose, Boston Red Sox. And out of the 3 games in last week, took 2 out of 3 against Baltimore and lost 3 out of 4 against Boston. And this week was just chock full of highlights. The Monday game last week was Manny Banuelos. He was coming through, giving us something to be excited about, coming out of the pen, maybe a hero story. 5 2/3 innings, only 2 earned runs, giving up 6 Ks, looking good. And only to just get absolutely destroyed on the following Saturday against Boston, and that just decimating 15-2 loss. So Manny Banuelos, the rise and fall of the mighty Manny Banuelos, which is kind of sad that we're relying on that. So our bullpen, or our starting lineup, is taken a pretty severe hit with injuries and underperformance in general. So we'll see how good old Manny levels out. But he was 1-1 and with a good outing and a terrible outing. And then of course we had Carlos Rodon, who, my gosh, is he going to stay healthy? I don't know. Is his arm going to fall off? Is he going to pitch like the ace that we think he might? Who knows? But he lost to Baltimore on Wednesday and subsequently is on the injured reserve list again. So, gosh, we'll see what happens there. Not sure if he's going to have Tommy John, to be determined on that. We had the incredible outing of Reynaldo Lopez 2 weeks ago with the 6 innings and 14 Ks, setting major league records, and then he comes back to Boston and gets shelled for 6 earned runs in 5 innings while Chris Sale pitches a gem, and that was the Friday game. So the up and down of Manny Banuelos. Carlos Rodon is injured. Ivan Nova isn't worth $8 or $9 million that we signed for him for. Giolito pitched fine on Thursday, 5 innings pitched and 3 earned runs on 7 hits. Not terrible, so he's looking good. And then we're left with none other than, once again, Dylan Covey. And he came up on Sunday against Boston, 4 2/3 innings, only gave up 2 earned runs, so that's great. But my gosh, Dylan Covey, is that what we're looking at? We're looking at Dylan Covey and Manny Banuelos. Oh my gosh, we'll see. So I'm looking forward to looking at the pipeline of the minor leagues and any sort of farm system help we might be able to get in the near future. Dylan Cease, but probably not. So that was a recap of last week, 3-4 record, and the rise and fall of Manny Banuelos. Carlos Rodon is injured. Giolito's back. Dylan Covey is back. Oh my gosh. Is he seriously getting another shot? We will see. So then looking ahead to next week, we're looking at a 4-game set in Cleveland, which is a big deal. The White Sox are currently 4 games behind said Cleveland Indians for the last wildcard spot, and obviously it's a little too soon to look at that, but very important inter-division games, 4 games at Cleveland. So we'll see how that goes. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's followed up by a 3-game set in Toronto, which will be no walk in the park either. We got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. coming out of the farm system, and everybody's looking at him, so we'll see how the White Sox fare on the road for a 7-game set against 4 in Cleveland and 3 in Toronto. So last week, there were also just a series of crazy promotions and demotions, and maybe this is par for the course for a rebuild team, but it just seems crazy that, injuries and call-ups and players getting sent down. On Wednesday, May 1st, we called up Evan Marshall into the bullpen, and on the same day, we sent Thiago Vieira down to Charlotte and then called him back up in the same day. So who knows how that happens. And then only for the next day, on Thursday, for him to get sent back down to Charlotte. So tough road for Thiago Vieira. Hopefully he didn't get on the plane before he was called back up the same day he was called down or sent down. So anyway, Thiago Vieira has been on quite a roller coaster. Evan Marshall's back up with the Major League squad, pitching fairly well, but that all happened on Wednesday and Thursday last week. On Thursday, we got Lucas Giolito back from the injured list, and subsequently put Carlos Rodon on it. Wah, wah, wah. We can't keep a freaking starting rotation to save our lives. So Giolito back, Rodon gone again, and that's left elbow inflammation. There's been talks of Tommy John, so we'll see. Going forward to Saturday, the 4th, Alec Hansen. This is not on the White Sox squad yet, but good to see that Alec Hansen was promoted from High A Winston-Salem to Double A Birmingham. So the story on him, he was setting records in High A and then Double A, getting promotions like crazy in 2017, and then in 2018 he dropped a bunch of weight in order to become quote-unquote more athletic and got injured. His forearms strained out on him. So this year he gained the weight back, gained some more muscle, and is pitching well again out of the bullpen instead of in the starting rotation. So we'll see what they do with him in Birmingham, if they're going to keep him in the bullpen, because he's been pitching pretty well, earned himself a promotion back up to Birmingham and a stated goal this year of getting back up to AAA, which is where he was supposed to be last year. So Alec Hansen has been promoted to Birmingham AA, which is very good news, especially for a White Sox staff that has been absolutely decimated. On Sunday, speaking of injuries, John Jay, the supposed bait for Manny Machado, but not actually, was extended to the 60-day injured list with a right hip strain. So not really holding out much hope there. But in a strange turn of events, on Monday, today actually, Adam Engel was optioned back to Charlotte, which his slash lines in the last 7 days have been fairly impressive, specifically compared to how he has been batting in the past. We've been waiting for him to hit well, and he actually has in the past week, but he's got a 950 or a little bit more OPS, and 971 OPS in the last 7 days, and they optioned him to Charlotte. So you tell me, I don't know. So Charlie Tilson is back up. That happened today. Yesterday, again, they optioned Carson Fulmer and Jose Ruiz back to Charlotte from the bullpen, and called up subsequently Juan Minaya and Caleb Frere, who, of course, today Caleb Frere was sent back down. So just crazy with Thiago Vieira, Caleb Frere going up and down, Carson Fulmer coming up and down. It's just trying to find the pieces of the bullpen that are going to work and going to stick for the long term, or be flipped at the All-Star break for some more talent. So that is a summary of your promotions and demotions in the last week, and injuries as well. So very quickly, as we wrap up here with the weekly update in the minor leagues, in the AAA Charlotte, Dylan Cease, the great hope of our starting rotation, the one game he pitched this week, he went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 11 strikeouts. So he is doing really well on the season. He's got a 2-1 record with a 3.33 ERA and 1.15 WHIP. So he's holding his own. He's getting a lot of strikeouts, very few walks, pretty consistent. He had a couple bad outings in between all those, but looking good. So Dylan Cease, please come help us. Also in Charlotte, AAA, Zach Collins in 22 games, 80 at-bats this season. He's got 983 OPS, which is it's a bit, it's a bit flawed. He's got a lower batting average, 263, on base of 370, and a slugging of 613. So it seems like every single ball he does hit, he's slugging it. So he's getting doubles, triples, home runs instead of singles, which is good. So Zach Collins, obviously hoping to be a catcher of the future. So In Double-A Birmingham with the newly added Luis Robert, in 5 games in Birmingham. The first couple games, he actually went 0 for 10 with 4 strikeouts, but he's since come back with 7 hits in the next 10 at-bats, so he's got a 350 average, 550 on-base percentage, 959 OPS, so pretty good there. So over 20 at-bats, he's doing well in Double-A Birmingham, which is fantastic. And the aforementioned Alec Hansen, he rounded out his bullpen experience in High A Winston-Salem with 12 2/3 innings pitched, 2.13 ERA, only gave up 1 hit with 21 strikeouts. So he was just slaying hitters in Winston-Salem and definitely earned a trip up to Birmingham. So we'll see how he does in the bullpen or if they throw him in the starting lineup. So that was the weekly recap for your Chicago White Sox and some of the farm system action, the promotions and demotions, and the week upcoming. So here's to a awesome week against our rivals, our Central Division rivals, the Cleveland Indians, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the starting pitching holds up. We'll see how the bullpen does. We'll see if there's any more promotions, demotions. We need to see if Jose Abreu and James McCann can stay on their absolute tear. They're both posting over 1,000 OPS and just crushing the ball all over the place. So exciting to see Abreu and McCann on a tear. Exciting to see Tim Anderson as your player of the month. Not exciting to see these injuries and the absolute decimation of the starting rotation and bullpen, but we'll see how it goes this week against the Indians and the Blue Jays. So until next time, this is Joe Kalis signing off.
History!